Thank you for 850 subscribers. Hey guys, it's CheekyBeeks, and today we are going to be reviewing the Dog Man movie. Now, I know this movie came out all the way back in January 31st. However, there has been information that has come out about future sequels, future other stuff that DreamWorks has let on a little bit after the movie's release. So, I think we're in the clear here, as well as the fact that this movie is still the best movie that has been released this year, which is insane to say, considering that a Minecraft movie and a Snow White movie has been released. But I guess Dogman is just that good. We have merch here, we have things about the second movie. I took notes during the movie, made sure I could analyze it as much as possible to make this an enjoyable experience. So without further ado, let's go. Now before we get into talking about the movie itself, I want to go over the merch that I got. I got some pictures around the place taken at the AMC theater where I watched the movie, and when I got to the movie, I got this cup here, which is pretty cool. It has a picture of little Petey on it. There's Dogman on the other side. There's a little tennis ball right there, and of course, the title in all its glory. I really love what they did with the title. I love the gold text. I think it really suits the movie well, especially considering that the badges that they wear are gold. The cup also came with this little surprise action figure, which I didn't open yet, so it's been trapped in this bag for the past 3 months. But I am going to be opening it for this video. I have been waiting for this video to open it. I actually got the Petey one originally, but considering that I'm more of a Dogman fan myself, I decided to switch to the Dogman one instead. So let's give it an open. As you can see, the figurine is a pretty accurate representation of Dogman. I like the realistic fur that the figurine has, as well as hat and also the features as well. And throughout this entire experience, I wasn't expecting Dogman to really be well adapted into 3D, but I love how they did the 3D models, not just for Dogman, but for all of the characters involved. They don't feel all plasticky and lifeless. They feel like that soul and energy has been put into them, which I really enjoy. This figurine is meant to go on top of the cup. All you have to do is place it there like this, and voila. The only thing that could benefit this figurine is if it had a little bit of a better paint job. I'm looking at it right now, and I mean, the paint job isn't that great, but other than that, it's a pretty good figurine, and I'm glad this came with the movie. And of course, I also got this bowl here. The bowl has all the characters on it. It has ADHD, there's Dogman over here, there's the text again, of course, we can't forget about that. Petey as well, we can't forget about him, and little Petey is eating an ice cream on the side right here. This bowl is definitely my favorite part about the movie because you could actually put popcorn in here during the movie and eat the popcorn like how a dog would eat it. You would kind of just, you know, eat it like how a dog would eat it, straight from the bowl, using your mouth. Unfortunately, I didn't use my mouth. I used my hands like a normal person. And now it's finally time to talk about the movie itself. Now I have a lot to say about this movie. It's a pretty jam-packed experience. It did feel a little bit rushed like the Super Mario Brothers movie, but other than that, I think every character got their moment to shine at some point in this movie, and I was really happy with the end result. I give this movie a straight 10 out of 10, honestly. It is the best Dogman experience that I've ever been to, ever since the culmination of the series, and it reminded me why I like the series in the first place as well. I went there with my brother and sister, and we had an awesome time together. Before we continue, I just want to briefly mention the second movie. I heard that there is a second movie possibly in the works, which is crazy considering everything that has been happening after the initial first movie's release. The movie did really well, but the company that worked on it was under fire due to money constraints and whatnot. I am assuming that the company has gotten bought or something along the lines of that, or DreamWorks bought them, because I have heard news that the second Dogman movie is coming out. I don't know how true that is, but I am excited either way. The only thing I'm skeptical about is the release date, because it is in 2027. Am I even still gonna like Dogman in 2027? I'll almost be a full-fledged adult. But I guess we'll have to see, because I've liked the series for 4 years so far, or I've been reviewing this series for 4 years at least. But I think that for the 4 years that I've liked the series, there's been ups and downs, and I think it'll continue to be that way. I don't think I'm going to fall out of love with this series anytime soon, especially considering that the recent releases for everything have been really good, in my opinion. So yeah, Dogman movie 2027, woohoo! The movie's called Dogman Unleashed, by the way, which is weird for reasons I'll get into later. The first bullet point that I wrote down from the beginning of the movie was that Dogman can remember himself and Officer Knight before the surgery. Just as I suspected, Officer Knight has a pretty big, a little bit more of a bigger role in this movie and plays into Dogman's trauma, which is pretty weird considering that in the book, Dogman doesn't even remember himself being Officer Knight or Greg the dog. He just remembers himself being Dogman from the moment that he was born. Dogman Unleashed has already happened. I have seen a lot of different Dogman books referenced in this movie, especially in that one montage scene where Dogman continually wins against Petey's evil schemes, which is weird that we are having a Dogman Unleashed movie in 2027 if that's the case. Again, these are just rumors. I'm not exactly sure if they're actually true. I've only seen one person talk about it, so for all I know, it couldn't be true. But I'm hoping it is, and I wonder what they're going to do for this movie. Are they going to follow something completely different? Because we already know the things that happen with Flippy in this movie. We already know the things that have happened with everyone in general. Everything in Dogman Unleashed already happened, despite the confrontation with Flat Petey. Flat Petey was absent from this movie, so I'm assuming that Flat Petey will be the main villain of the Dogman Unleashed movie. If that's the case, then I wonder if there will be other Dogman books that will be adapted into movies as well. I would especially like to see a Dogman and Cat Kid movie, as it would kind of be a movie in a movie situation, considering that that book had a Dogman movie actually being made inside of it. If you guys have read the book, you know what I'm talking about, but it was kind of like a whole Dogman thing because Dogman was getting popular at the time, you know, and I think it's pretty awesome. I think it would make a good movie as well with Yolik, Prez, and everything. And it would be the introduction to the Bark Knight as well as Cat Kid and Lightning Dude, who haven't been present in this movie. I thought it was pretty odd to make Chief like Sarah, especially considering that the nurse lady was actually in the movie. And it's kind of weird that Chief is kind of seeing two girls, even though these are different variations of the same character. It's like he's married to the nurse lady in the books, but he also is dating Sarah Hatoff by the end of the movie. So it's kind of weird, but I guess Chief is just a ladies' man. I think the weird introduction to Petey's lady assistant rather than it being male was a pretty cool thing. And honestly, I felt more of an attachment to that character than the original male assistant. The only thing he had going for him is that he was really into trash for some reason. Like, literally bags of trash. And he was fired for it. While the lady assistant actually had some sense and was a pretty good assistant, even though she didn't really want to actually be there, I believe personally that she played more of a significant role in the movie than the original assistant did in the books. I'm not sure why they changed it, but I mean, more diverse characters is always an interesting thing in book versus movie adaptations, and I think they handled it really well. Now, Dogman is well liked by everyone in this movie. He is practically a celebrity, and I bet you could say similar things about the books, but in the movie, it's like he's shown as a celebrity a lot more. In the books, he's a lot less respected than he is in the movie simply because he is a dog, which I feel like, I think is more realistic of what would happen, especially considering that, you know, racial equality is a big thing that people talk about nowadays. I feel like despite Dogman being an amazing cop, there are people who will make fun of him and hate him and clown on him just for being a dog. And I like that they keep it real there. But in the movie, he's more of a celebrity, but I think that isn't specifically a bad thing. We get to see some inventions during the montages of Petey's ultimate weapons, which is pretty cool. It's nice to see that if Dav Pilkey had a hand in creating those inventions, that even though Petey isn't a villain anymore, he still has awesome ideas for the character and the inventions he can cultivate. Dogman is actually really good at his job here. I think I might be saying this a lot during this video. I don't know about the future yet. Dogman is really smart this movie. I don't know if he ate some super brain dots or something, but he's definitely got a higher IQ in the movie than all the books combined, to be totally honest. And I'm not saying that in the books he doesn't have his smart moments, but in the movies, he is like an actual character. Like, he's seriously really smart. Still not the sharpest tool in the shed, but he knows what he's doing, and he's obviously a great cop. And I wonder if it's because both Officer Knight and Greg the dog were pretty amazing cops, not to mention that Greg the dog's head was stitched onto Officer Knight's body, which means Dogman would be inheriting Greg the dog's brain, and Greg the dog was supposed to be super smart, so it would make sense for him to be more smart than he is dumb, like in the actual books. I like his dumbfounded moments, and I like him getting everyone angry in the books. But I do like this new approach for Dogman, and I honestly hope that in the books going forward they adapt this new smart Dogman, because I like it a lot more. Now, the mayor was a really weird character in this movie. She mainly plays the same role that she does in the book, despite the fact that she doesn't replace Chief with a Robo-Chief, which I think is pretty sad. But I get that they didn't want to add too many plot lines to the movie, but I really wanted to see the Robo-Chief in the movie. Oh well, though, I guess to each their own. The mayor also has a lot of funny scenes as well. Like that Life Isn't Fair scene that I saw everyone talking about when the movie just came out. I think everyone got a crack out of that, and I think it was definitely the most trendy part of the movie. Like how the most trendy part of the Minecraft movie is Chicken Jock.
Wait, Mayor. Dogman is the champ of catching Petey. That's not fair.
Oh, that's not fair? That's not fair! Here, call this number.
Life's not fair.
What?
Life's not fair.
Like I said, Dogman is incredibly smart in this movie. The only thing that's going against him is the fact that he has those dog instincts sometimes. But I mean, don't we all?
Got that dog in me, boy! You must don't know!
Dogman's house is built a little bit differently than in the movies. I just wanted to clear that up a bit. It's a lot more smaller and cramped than it was in the books. Like, Dogman's house was incredibly deceiving in the books, but his house feels more like an actual house that an actual person would live in a movie. And I feel like it's nice that the movie has a lot more of a realistic looking house for the character. I think the Petey Flippy scenario in which Petey tries to bring Flippy alive was a different twist on the Flippy story. Rather than Flippy coming alive and sentient completely on accident, it's Petey who actually brings him alive here. And it's I'm kind of sad that, Flippy, we didn't really get to see much of him during this movie. I especially liked his, Australian accent. I think it really fit the character well. And I'm kind of sad to see that we didn't really get to see Flippy when he was alive as a normal fish. He kind of just came into the movie the moment he was dead. I feel like he was a rush villain as well. There wasn't really much to his character other than the fact that he just came alive in the middle of the movie. And he was just kind of a replacement villain for Petey, considering that they wanted to make him seem like he was on the good side and everything. In the movie, the mayor, she's a really mean character. And this time, rather than getting Chief fired like in the original books, she much rather tries to focus all of her anger and frustrations on getting Dogman out of the picture. Which, come on, lady, what did Dogman do to you? Now, I don't know if this is because of its cinematic nature that this is a thing, but Dogman and Little Petey feel like they have more of a meaningful connection and relationship than they did in the books. I'm not saying their relationship was bad in the books, but I'm just saying the relationship portrayed in the books is much more bland in comparison how it's portrayed in the movies. I'm not saying it's the book's fault because I know that portraying emotion in books is definitely much harder than doing it on a screen, but I'm just saying that they did a phenomenal job in showing Dogman and Little Petey's relationship throughout the course of the movie and how it has grown to an eventual co-parenting between Dogman and Little Petey. And Petey, of course, the regular Petey. Now, my least favorite part of the movie is what they did to the character ADHD. Now, I know this is just the first movie of possibly many to come, so I can't exactly say this for certain yet, but from what I've seen, ADHD is a lot bland of a character than he is in the books here. ADHD felt like he had personality in the books, teaming up with Dogman and co., going on adventures. It felt like he was actually a human in a robot suit. But rather, in this movie, he just felt a lot less human. He's more of a robot than he is in the books. And I get it, ADHD is a robot, but I liked that human side to him. It made me feel more connected to the character, but I just couldn't feel that same way during the movie, unfortunately. My favorite joke in the movie is the "I'm gonna get some milk" joke. I don't think anyone realized this, but during the part where Petey and Little Petey were inside of the lair and Grandpa eventually came, I remember that Petey went to go out and I think commit some crimes or something, and he didn't want to bring Little Petey, so he just gave the excuse, "I'm gonna go get some milk," which I don't know if that joke flew over people's heads, and I don't know how it got to the final movie, but it just got a visible smile out of me. What's weird is that there was no mention of Petey's flat tail during this movie. I don't know if it came and I missed it, or something happened, or maybe they're saving it for the future movies, as I said before. But Petey's flat tail is pretty absent. I'm not even sure if he has a flat tail during this movie, to be totally honest. Maybe I should have got that Petey figurine after all to try and figure that out. But the flat tail thing was, I think, etched from this movie. And I think it was a pretty big part of Petey's character, so I'm not exactly sure why it got removed. But, you know, it's not that big of an issue. And I think that they covered it up pretty well. I feel like only people who have read the books would only notice. Petey's grandpa is, interesting. He didn't have much lines in the movie. He was only there for a bit. But rather than being a villain and then Petey eventually taking after him, he was a deadbeat instead. He's just an average deadbeat father who wasn't there for his son. And, I mean, he kind of just wasn't evil at all. He didn't show any evil intentions or anything, and I don't believe he was in jail either. He didn't try and do anything evil or stop Petey from doing anything like that. He kind of just made fun of Petey for a bit and then left. Perhaps he'll come in a future movie and be a lot more of a prominent character, especially how he is in the books right now. I was expecting him to play a little bit of a bigger role, but again, I do understand that they didn't want to put too much focus on too many different plot points, hence the reason why a lot of plot points were just looked over or completely etched in general. I loved all the cameos in this movie. I did see George and Harold a handful of times, which I think they just sprinkled in there for the fun of it. But you know, a lot of people did come out and say, "Oh, this might be a reference to the second Captain Underpants movie," which I honestly hope so. I love these Dave Pilkey movies, and I honestly hope that DreamWorks continue making more of them. I mean, the Captain Underpants movie was titled Captain Underpants: The First Epic Movie. When's the second epic movie coming out? When are we going to see new things? I want to see that movie explored more. And I also want to see Dogman explored more as well. And heck, maybe even throw some other Dave Pilkey IPs in there, like Mighty Mouse. It can happen. It can happen. What about an Ook and Gluck movie or a Super Diaper Baby movie? Possibilities are really endless. I like nearing the climax of this book where Petey and Dogman finally work together to stop Flippy and save little Petey. It was definitely a heartfelt moment for the two characters, And I'm not sure if Petey went back to crime after the movie, but assuming he didn't, it was a pretty warm moment for the two of them. And to see their relationship on the big screen was a pretty heart-wrenching moment for, a longtime Dogman fan such as myself. I like the funny aspect ratio changes as well. For some reason, the movie would just change aspect ratios randomly. Not only the aspect ratio, but also the editing in the movie, and the funny editing was just supreme. It was cringe, but it was definitely supreme, and it bring that charm. I felt like it represents Dav Pilkey's books quite well. I don't think that the mayor gets replaced at the end of the movie, which upsets me, but maybe in the future movie, maybe we might actually see Robo Chief, and maybe the mayor will be called out for her crimes and eventually replaced. Or maybe it happened off screen where no one can see it. Who knows? And that final moment in which Dogman allows Petey and Little Petey to stay with him for a while, or just Little Petey, I don't remember exactly. I think that was an amazing moment, and this would eventually start the co-parenting saga between Dogman and Petey. And because of that, I mean, there are ups and downs in that, of course. We have the amazing representation of that in the books, them being two completely different parents with completely different viewpoints. But there's also the weird side of things with the weird fan art and whatnot that has been generated from, Dogman and Petey co-parenting Little Petey, of course. And a lot of, fan-made stuff and a lot of, fan stuff has just come out in general of Dogman as of recently because of the movie. I like that how the cinematic release, the movie, has allowed Dogman to be pushed back into the limelight here. I think that was really nice. For once since the golden age of the book, I felt finally like that I was in a very big, striving community again. And I'm not saying that the Dogman community was on the decline, but you could really see the up in amount of people in the community after the movie was made, which I thought was pretty sweet. Anyways, guys, that was my review on the Dogman movie. Wasn't expecting it to be this long, but I found a lot of things interesting. Of course, there was a lot of stuff that I didn't talk about as well, like the whole Officer Knight girlfriend thing, and how Dogman and Officer Knight had, a whole relationship before, the beginning of the movie, making their deaths a lot more tragic. I don't really understand how such a tragic death was in a kid's movie, but they definitely played it off well. They didn't make it seem like it was too graphic or anything, but they did give it a heartfelt sincerity to it, which I really appreciated. Overall, the movie was an amazing experience, 10 out of 10 experience. It definitely wipes any of the books for me. I truly think that the movie is perfect. There are a lot of things that could be tweaked, some plot points just aren't there that should be there. Some plot points aren't fleshed out well enough, like Flippy's whole character. There are a lot of things that I really would change with the movie. I guess now I'm thinking about it, I'd really give it a 9.5 out of 10 if we were being super critical here with all the things that were, wrong and right with the movie. But either way, I really enjoyed my experience. I enjoyed watching it with my siblings, having a fun time, laughing with them. And I was kind of sad there wasn't any sort of end credit scene, but if the rumors are true and that a Dogman movie is confirmed for 2027, that means we'll be back at it again. Hopefully this will be the last Dogman thing I'll be covering for just a little bit of a while. I haven't really been keeping up with the series as of recent. I don't even know when the next book is coming out. I do know a new book is coming out, Big Jim, I think Beyond, but I'm not exactly sure when it's going to come out yet. I really should look into that, but if I had to guess, it'd probably be late 2025, early 2026. Which will give me a period of time to breathe. Maybe in the summer, if you have any more ideas for me, like predictions for the Dogman 2 movie, maybe I could read off the comments of some of your predictions from this video. I can add my own predictions in there. Maybe my siblings who have also watched the movie can also put their predictions in there. I could do that over the summer if you guys would like. And, I could do a lot more videos during the summer, hopefully. We'll just have to see. Thank you guys so much for watching again. Thank you for watching, hearing my spiel, getting all to the end of the video. And thank you so much for almost 1,000 subscribers. I really appreciate this milestone, and I honestly wasn't expecting to get here. I'm still completely shocked that my original first Dogman book review video has almost 60K views. Well, actually, I'm thinking after recording this video, it actually does have 60K views, so I want to thank you guys all for that. I just can't thank you guys enough, to be totally honest. I could make a whole video just thanking you guys for everything you've done, and I hope to see you guys all next time. Later.